Good to see you on this cold spring Friday here.
Yeah,
I
good to see you as well. I appreciate you having me on.
so tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into the construction or building products industry.
Sure. So when I was in college, I actually worked for a mailbox and flagpole company, which is originally kind of what piqued my interest in construction in general. After graduating U of I did land at Setco, and so I've spent pretty much the past 5 years here absorbing everything that I can about the roofing and waterproofing industry and the Chicagoland design community as a whole.
Nice, nice. Well, and you somehow got tipped or turned on towards CSI. How did that evolve?
Yeah, so Dan, I had kind of elected to move into more of a sales role back in March of 2020. Unfortunately, that was just as COVID had hit. So back when we all thought were kind of going to be over by summer, I was kind of looking for a way to connect with the design community and just further my technical knowledge. Coming from the technical side of things, I was very interested in learning a little bit more about the building envelope and not specifically what my company had taught me, and so getting a lot of that knowledge from the industry was one of my priorities. So, and specifically with the CDT as well, I had got a lot of interest in taking a look at that, and especially in how it covers how projects are really delivered here in Chicago and beyond.
Cool, cool. Well, you picked a tough time to join us, but hopefully it's paid off for you. What did you think of our meeting the other night? I was impressed with the turnout.
Yeah, I was too. I had a great time. It was really good seeing everyone come together. We saw a lot of faces that we haven't really seen the past year, so it was nice that some companies are letting people out a little bit more. The technical presentation was also phenomenal. It was definitely one of my favorites. Really helped kind of shed some light on the aspects of the building envelope that I wasn't entirely familiar with.
Cool, cool. So what would you, given your vantage point, what would you, now that you know CSI a little bit and your perspective, what would you tell a young professional, whether it's a technical support person on a building product side or a young architect or design professional? What would you tell them about CSI?
Well, I would have to say it really surprised me how welcoming and supportive that everyone was. When I first joined CSI, I was really just kind of looking to make connections within the design industry, and the social aspect had really uh, stood out to me and appealed to me. So now, after being active for in CSI for close to 2 years, I had taken the role of committee chair for the young professionals, the Future AC Leaders Committee, and so that got me more involved with some of the team, and so really was beneficial. But I found that everyone from product reps to architects just really extremely supportive of young professionals here in Chicago. There really is just a lot of wisdom that you can pick up from some of the more seasoned members, and being active and involved really does help give young professionals like myself that opportunity.
Excellent, excellent. And we certainly appreciate you stepping up and taking leadership of that. It's the Emerging Leaders Committee, correct?
Yeah, the Future AEC Leaders.
Future AEC leaders. So what surprised you the most, and what do you think are the biggest challenges our industry faces? What's
Yeah, so I mean, again, I think I was more surprised just on how supportive everyone is. I think construction in general can be a very intimidating industry, especially as a young professional, because there really are, thousands and thousands of moving parts on a project. So it's a little bit more difficult for young professionals like myself to kind of figure out where you fit in that construction process. And so one of the biggest challenges that I see young professionals really face is just kind of figuring out what type of like how and where to find those kind of professional resources that can help to further you and understand again the many opportunities that the kind of industry provides. Figuring out what kind of like professional development, certifications, et cetera, would help kind of propel your career is a little bit difficult nowadays, where there are a lot of certifications and a lot of different programs out there. And so figuring out what works best for you was something that CSI was able to help me out with, and something I think is very beneficial for those young professionals. Like I said, the CDT was one of those for me. So between like my own studies, the supplemental study class, I really learned more and had more resources than I really could have ever hoped for. So I really do think that CSI Chicago does provide a good path for young professionals to connect with those local industry leaders, further your education, and I mean, make friends while you do it. I would count you as one of my friends here, Dan, and I mean, I would say that of several of the people that I've met here at the chapter, and just that's where I found a lot of the value after joining, and where I hope to continue to find value in years to come.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because that's one of the main benefits that I've received, is just the friendships and ability to get that perspective in the industry. So, Kevin, thanks for the time talking with us, and more importantly, thanks for your involvement and leadership in the Chicago chapter. So,
Yeah, not a problem, Dan. Again, I really appreciate you having me on.
yep. All right. Take care.